This is uncorked in rural Spain, but this isn't Spain. We are back in the US, and today I want to talk about the reality of splitting your time between two countries. We're spending half of our time in Spain and half of our time here in the US. And I want to talk about some of the pros and the cons of this type of a lifestyle, some of the extra expenses that are involved. And we're going to find out if it's the best of both worlds, or maybe it doesn't live up to the romantic idea that you may have in your mind. I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm doing it myself, so I'm going to give you the facts. So who can actually live this kind of a lifestyle? Well, you've either got to be retired, be able to work remotely, or be some kind of digital nomad. So obviously this isn't for everyone. And why would people consider doing this? Well, there's a couple of main reasons. Taxes are a main reason. Some people may want to not be 183 days in Spain or in the US or in whatever country, because you can, once you are 183 days in country, you become a tax resident of Spain, and Spain and the US both tax you on your worldwide income. So you can be, you don't pay double taxes, but you're going to pay whoever has the highest tax rate, you're going to pay that tax. And the other one might be family. Like for us, my dad passed earlier this year, and my mom is alone, and she's transitioning into being able to figuring out how to live by herself and do things and operate in the world. And she needs a little bit more love and guidance and understanding. So we're kind of back in, but also my wife has family in Spain. So, as our parents get older, we want to be in two places at the same time. So having two houses in both countries is one way we can do that. So let's jump into the pros. I'll start with some of the pros of living in Spain, and then I'll tell you the pros of living in the US, and then I'll tell you some cons of both places as well, because the grass always is greener until you have both sides of the fence, and then you have to really talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of both situations. Okay, the biggest pro for Spain, cost of living. It's much cheaper. Housing is cheaper. Insurance is cheaper. Health insurance, like our homeowners insurance is cheaper, our property taxes are cheaper, our health insurance is cheaper, our car insurance is cheaper, wine is cheaper, food is cheaper, everything is cheaper. Don't tell people in Spain think it's expensive, because their prices have gone up to say the same as prices have gone up in the US, the same prices have gone up everywhere in the world. So wherever you're from, you think it's expensive because you've seen the prices go up, but going from here to there, everything is cheaper for us. And also I should mention, cheaper in cost, not in value, because you get a lot of things that are better there. The food is better. You can actually use your homeowner's insurance, and they can't jack your rate up. We actually paid for 3 years of our homeowner's insurance up front. So if there was a problem, knock on wood, hopefully there never will be, we could actually file a claim, and it's not going to destroy our rates as well. Lifestyle. The lifestyle in Spain runs at a much slower pace. It's nice to go there and just kind of kick back and just not have to hurry, not have to rush. All the stores close for a couple hours in the middle of the day for people to go home and eat lunch with their family or take a nap. The siesta does still exist, but it's more to have family time. Their big meal of the day is lunch. So, you can't go, there's just certain things you can't do in the middle of the day, and there's, things are closed on Sundays, and things just run at a little bit slower pace. That's going to come up in the cons as well, but it's also a pro. Climate, that's a pro for both, because I'm here in Florida. It's the middle of November. I put a long sleeve shirt on, but it's cool, but I could be in a short sleeve shirt. The leaves are just now starting to fall, and it's going to be in the mid 70s tomorrow. I'll probably have a beach day tomorrow. And in Spain, our house is in the mountains, so that's why we're going to mainly spend our summers in Spain, to have summers in the mountains, hiking and enjoying great weather. But I'd still want to go back and do, like, we're going back in a couple weeks, and I'd like to get some snow skiing done. We've got a couple ski resorts within an hour of us, so you do have a little bit for us. It depends on where you live and what kind of climate you're coming from. We wanted a little bit of winter, or access to a winter, and so we can have 4 seasons in Spain if we want. We can come here and enjoy this weather as well. And travel opportunities is another big pro for Spain. It's much cheaper to fly throughout Europe. There's flights from Barcelona to Paris for $39 round trip on some of the low-cost airlines. That kind of stuff. Well, I guess you could maybe jump on a Frontier flight in the US, but it's just, we don't have Frontier at our airport. We have to drive. Anyway, hopping around Europe is very cheap and efficient, and there's trains and there's buses, and there's many good things about traveling in Europe that are better than the US. Okay, let's talk about some pros of the US. So one of them is the economy, the ability to be an entrepreneur, the ability to make more money, and just create, investment with less red tape, especially for entrepreneurs or buying investment properties like this one I'm standing in right here. So more opportunity in the US for sure, monetarily. Also convenience. This is the 24/7 get it when you want it society here in the US. It's hustle, hustle, hustle. It moves much faster, and you can get whatever you want whenever you want. You can go to Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning and buy sliced cheese to make a grilled cheese sandwich if that's what you're craving at that exact time. So much more convenience, and fast food drive-throughs, drive-through windows at banks, drive-through liquor stores. Everything's got a drive-through. Everything's super fast. So that is, I guess, a pro for the US if you want more convenience. And obviously familiarity. You don't have to learn a new language. You don't have to learn new cultures. You know how things operate. You know the system. So just staying in the US or the time that we spend here, things are much easier to get done, and we know how to do it. Okay, now let's talk about the cons of just this lifestyle in general. Logistics obviously is a big problem. Booking flights, managing 2 different houses, and one of the biggest ones for us is a car. We haven't bought a car yet in Spain, so we rent a car when we go there. And then when we're here, we have to find somewhere to leave the car. When we were gone for 5 months earlier this year, we left a car at my mom's house in Atlanta, and then we flew out of Atlanta, which was nice. But this time tickets were cheaper to fly out of Florida. So we got to figure out where we're going to park our car for 2 months while we're gone. We're going to leave here in a couple weeks. I'll be back in Spain in a couple weeks. So stay tuned if you're missing my Spain content and seeing my property there. We have to pay for healthcare in 2 different countries. There's a lot of dual costs that we're paying right now that if we just picked one place, it would reduce our costs and our headaches. We have when we're not here, we rent this house out in the summertime as an Airbnb. And so every time we go to Spain, we have to move out of this house and we move everything into a storage unit. And then when we come back, we have to move everything back from the storage unit to this house, and then vice versa and back and forth. Not to mention the amount of condiments we have to buy. Because it seems like when you leave for a couple months, you throw everything in your refrigerator away. So it seems like I'm buying ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and Tabasco sauce and all those things every couple months. It's just part of the gig. Social connections. I don't know if this is much of a con. Our friends and our family miss us when we're in one place or the other. Somebody's always missing us when we're not in Spain, and somebody's always missing us when we're not in the US. But sometimes you get this. I think we might spend more time with people than we would have normally. We make a greater effort to go up to my mom's house. We make a greater effort to go out with our friends while we're here, instead of just being lazy and not making the effort. So I think it kind of makes you make the effort a little bit more, but it taxes some of those relationships a little bit as well. If you have kids or grandkids, we do not have children, so we don't have that consideration. Time zones are a big pain in the butt when we're trying to get a plumber to the house and he's going to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's 3 o'clock in the morning our time. We just had to have a guy go pump out the septic tank, and it was a big fiasco because he couldn't get the truck up our driveway, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we're back and forth on the phone with this guy. And the same thing if you're working and you have meetings you have to attend, or if you're a digital nomad or something and you have to coordinate work phone calls, the time zones is a big con. And it's just a little bit taxing on the brain and the soul to always kind of be going back and forth. We love being there, we love being here, we love seeing our friends and our family, and we love the experiences in both places. But you're always thinking about getting, what are we going to take back with us this time? What do we need to take back over there? What repairs do we need to do before we leave, if we're going to be gone for months at a time? And there's always things in your brain going on to try to figure out how to make all these worlds combine and run properly. So is it all worth it? Do I have reflections of life in general, or my lifestyle, or, there's a lot of pain in the butt factor, I call it, to do this kind of a lifestyle, but it is worth it. And I think we do grow from these kind of experiences. Just moving all your stuff on an airplane, you find out real quick what's important and what's not important in your life, and getting rid of clutter and decluttering your mind. All these things just happen organically from paring things down. We have a house in Spain that we don't rent out, so we're trying to get all of our belongings there, 1 suitcase at a time, or 3 suitcases at a time probably. And then coming back here and trying to pare down everything we have here to fit in the smallest storage unit we can rent, because I still have rental properties here, and I need tools, and we need things to survive when we're here. I need fishing poles and things for fun, and my wife needs yoga mats and weights and all the things that she does. You just can't take everything back and forth on the plane every time you go. So there's that aspect as well. There's a little bit of trying to figure out where home is. This house, we sold our forever home and used that money to buy our house in Spain. So when we stay here, this doesn't feel like home because we rent this property out to other people and we're not here. So this doesn't feel like home. I'm hoping because we've only spent 4 or 5 months at our house in Spain, I'm hoping the more time that we spend there, and we got a few remodeling projects we want to do, and we need to buy our own artwork and things there still. So hopefully that will make that feel a little more like home when we're there. I think I feel more at home when I'm there than my wife does, but I think that'll come with time. The most surprising lesson I think that we learned is that I think I enjoyed the time in Spain more than my wife did. I didn't want to leave, and she was ready to come back to here. So I don't know, that was very surprising to me because my wife is Spanish. She is from Spain. She has a big family there, and she got to see a ton of her family and friends. But she was ready to come back to Florida and see her friends here and get back to this beach lifestyle as well. So that was a little bit shocking to me. I'm not saying I don't enjoy my time in Florida. I do, and I enjoy my friends. But I wasn't ready to leave Spain when we were there. Maybe because it's all new to me and it's not as new to her because she's from there. Maybe that's it. I don't know. So you tell me, are you guys considering living half of your life in two different places for family reasons, for tax reasons, because things are cheaper, because you don't want to sell the forever home, because you have kids or grandkids? Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hopefully this was helpful, and maybe I talked about some things you've been considering or haven't considered, and it'll help you on your journey if this is what you're trying to accomplish. I know that some of these videos I make, like the last video I made about how I'm trying to work on my visa, is kind of a specific thing for people who are married to a Spanish citizen, so they don't get a lot of views. So hopefully if you saw this, you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up down there, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that, because we talk about living in rural Spain. But we also talk about the emotional aspects of moving across the ocean and living in a small town and all those things. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, and you want to see how much it cost me to live in Spain and Florida versus Spain, I did another video earlier, and I'll link to it right here, and you can go watch that video to see my budget in Florida versus my budget in Spain.